And then what I learned was that you don't receive everything the first day. So it's little by little, today a little more, tomorrow a little more, and so on and so forth. And then on a glorious day, which was Sunday, the 23rd of December of 1984, I was baptized. Then I don't know if they really knew, if they planned, which I, I doubt that they thought that they had to do it that day because it was a special day. For me, it was like it was a baptism, a special day for me, of course. But after baptism was performed by the mission president, and after I dressed up again, the wife of the mission president said, "Jean, do you know why this day is important?" I said, "Yeah, it's because it's the day of my baptism." Then she said, "Yeah, it's important for that, but there's one more reason. Today is the anniversary of Joseph Smith, and it was my rebirth. It was my rebirth in the church, and then things started to unfold little by little. And one more detail that I would like to share is that before I was baptized, they asked me to ask the Lord if the Book of Mormon was true. And I had a revelation, which I will not share this time. Do you want me to share that? I can share that since you're going to keep this, right?
Whatever you feel inspired, Sean.
Good. Then I was sleeping one day, and I prayed before that. Then I saw a man speaking like in a TV screen. And he said that he was Moroni. And he said that this book was true. And then I spoke with the missionaries. I said, I received the revelation. And they were so excited to learn that I had received the revelation. Then, as I said, on December the 23rd, I joined the church. And then you left, right?
I
You
left in April.
In 85.
Let me ask you something first. So what do you remember about that day of your baptism, how you felt?
Yeah, how I felt. I mean, there's a song which what's that? In Spanish, es El Pobre Forastero. Na,
A poor wayfaring man of grief.
na, 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 na.
Isn't it a poor wayfaring man of grief? A pobre?
That's Pobre Forastero. Yeah, that's it.
I think it's a poor wayfaring man of grief.
And then I remember that sister who played the piano. You remember her?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And I remember it was a glorious day for me to join that church, to join the church that very day. And then I spent 2 more years in Ecuador, in Switzerland. Then one day I said, okay, I have to go to America. And my plan was going to Ecuador and then try to move to the US or Canada. Then I understood that I had to stay there. And I stayed there in Ecuador. I arrived on June the 1st, 1986. Then in 1987, in December, I was married. And then, when was that? It was the 28th of December, 1986. Then we took a bus to Lima, Peru temple, which was a long, long way, leaving on Sunday at 10 o'clock, and arriving in Lima, Peru on Tuesday at 8 a.m. to do all the ordinances in the temple.
And that's when you were married?
That's when I was married. I was sealed. We were sealed on the 6th of January of 1987. which is 6 days. I mean, 8 days after we officially got married. And then we had our first daughter born in October, on the 7th of October. So Marianita got pregnant
Right
immediately,
away.
right away. And then what is interesting that our second daughter was born on the 6th of January of 1990. So she was our second anniversary present. But we didn't realize until we checked the records. Said, wow, that's the day we were sealed in the temple.
That's right.
And so you are our wedding anniversary present. Then every 6th of January we celebrate two events, which is the birthday of Marianne and also our wedding anniversary. So that's in simple words what happened to my life.
It's wonderful, Jean. And also you told me when we got back in touch that day we met in Stein am Rhein, that you weren't supposed to be there. You were there because you'd missed some trains or had gotten on the wrong.
That's correct. I got in the wrong train that day that took me to another place. Then finally I took another train, but I think had I taken the right train, we wouldn't have met that day. But the Lord knew how to do it. There was a reason for me missing that train that day, and that reason was meeting you and knowing about the church and joining the church.
Well, and there's something I have to add now too, and that is Jean and I were in touch after my mission until I went through my annulment, and then I lost touch. And Jean and I were out of touch for years. And 2 years ago, a wonderful phone call came to my parents. It was Jean. He had been searching and trying to find how to get back in touch with me, and he called Mom and Dad to see if, I guess you probably asked if they knew who I was or if they were my parents or something. And we've been in touch ever since. And then last night when we picked up Jean again at a train station in San Bernardino, our first time to see each other in 20 years. And what it means to me in my life now to be in touch with Jean, to see what the gospel means to him in his life. He has stayed faithful from the day he was baptized and has always been fully active and faithful in the church, a beautiful wife and children, married in the temple, has done work for his ancestors, is now a bishop in Ecuador, and now it's he who is touching my life with what he has done with his life. So, did you have another thought, John?
Everywhere I go, I always carry this. It's my temple recommend, so I can serve in every temple where I go, whenever the temple president wants me to do that. And this reminds me the importance of the covenants that we make, and the importance of keeping my life pure, so I can enjoy the blessings of the temple, not only for me but for my family and for my ancestors. And this is very interesting. Every time I have, these are things that maybe you don't know, that we as leaders, we also need 2 interviews to get this. Sometimes I ask my counselors any of my 2 counselors to interview me. I say, okay, now you are my bishop, okay? You have the authority, you have to interview me. I have to go through the process as any other member. And once the interview is over, so I have to sign. He doesn't sign it, but I sign my own recommendation. And sometimes one of the members of the stake presidency has to interview me before the other one interviews me. So this is one of the things that says that this is a church of order. There is no